Good evening and welcome to English News Package with radio and the television Tonga for the hour. Making headlines, His Majesty King Tupou VI held an audience with the ruler of Ras Al Khaimah. Tourism Ministry launches culture database system, and a man still recovering in hospital after being badly wounded. We'll have these and more stories later on in the bulletin, including the latest from sports. Now for the stories in details. His Majesty King Tupou VI was received by the ruler of Ras Al Khaimah on Tuesday. His Majesty is there on an official visit to the country. Reports from Ras Al Khaimah's official website says His Majesty was received by His Highness the Sheikh Saud bin Sakar Al Qasimi in his palace at the Sakar bin Mohammed city. The Iraq ruler welcomed the visit of King Tupou VI and his accompanying delegation and reviewed with him aspects of enhancing the UAE-Tonga cooperation relations in the mutual interest and benefits of their people. For his part, King Tupou VI underscored his country's keenness to enhance cooperation with the UAE, praising the values of tolerance and coexistence that the UAE promotes in its society and entrenches at the global stage, as well as the country's presence at the regional and global arenas. Meanwhile, His Highness Sheikh Saud, who's also Iraq's Supreme Council member, further affirmed the UAE's keenness to strengthen its ties with the Kingdom of Tonga and its people. They also exchanged views on several regional and international issues of mutual concern. Ras Al Khaimah is the largest city and capital of the Emirate of Ras Al Khaimah United Arab Emirates. It is also the sixth largest city in UAE after Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Al Ain and Ajman. The Tongan delegation at this visit included Her Majesty Queen Nanasipau, the wife of Tonga's ambassador to the UAE, Zuzan Akaola, Honorable Sionika Mafana and other guests. It is a milestone for the Ministry of Tourism to be able to witness the successful journey linking the current generation with tomorrow's generation. This morning, the Ministry of Tourism launched the Culture Database System, which will be used by the Cultural Division. Mark Ake with that story.
The new website includes information on 5 domains of Tongan culture, including tradition and expression, performing arts, social activity events, knowledge and practice, and traditional craftsmanship. In her keynote address, the Minister of Tourism, Honorable Fikita Moiloa Utoikamanu, said that the website will help preserve the knowledge about Tonga's culture, which is beginning to slowly fade away. Utoikamanu adds Tonga is unique because it is a nation of a proud culture, home to the Pacific's only monarchy and only Pacific nation that was never colonized. Meanwhile, UNESCO Country Secretary General Lucy Moala-Mafi says the project was conducted to 61 villages in Tongatapu, and they're looking forward to continuing with the same project to the outer islands.
I can proudly say that UNESCO is the only UN agency that advocates the protection and safeguarding of cultural heritage, and to accelerate a more perfect knowledge of each other's culture and way of life, to be able to live with each other side by side through mutual understanding, tolerance and peace. UNESCO believes in the value of preserving culture and recording and documenting elements of culture that can be passed on from one generation to the next, from myself to my children and to their children. I believe there are now 8 UNESCO conventions, culture conventions, that are open to member states of UNESCO to ratify.
During the program, the Tourism Chief Executive Officer, Sione Moala-Mafi, presented the Book of Culture to the Minister, Honorable Fikita Moiloa Utoikamanu. The website is open to the public but needs permission from the ministry. The project was funded by UNESCO.
The unwillingness of girls between ages of 10 to 17 to get vaccinated from cervical cancer is hindering the Health Ministry's efforts in urging them to get vaccinated. This is because many parents are against the vaccination, as they believe these vaccines will prevent women from giving birth. Mark Ake with the details.
The HPV vaccine is to help protect young girls between the ages of 10 to 17 from cervical cancer, but many parents are against it. The Ministry of Health clarified the importance of the HPV vaccination rollout as it protects young girls from having cervical cancer later on in life, and they believe it does not affect their reproduction system. The nurse in charge of the vaccine division at Viola Hospital, Sister Afude, says they are worried for the girls' safety when they get older due to the parents not wanting them to get vaccinated from the virus. Many women in Tonga have lost their lives to cervical cancer in previous years, and Sister Afude says the reason why is because they weren't vaccinated at the ages of 10 to 17. She adds other countries have long used the HPV vaccine, but it was first introduced and used in Tonga this year as the number of women with cervical cancer has increased. According to the ministry's latest statistics, 6 to 7 women die every year from cervical cancer. As such, she urges parents to get their young girls between the ages of 10 to 17 vaccinated from cervical cancer now before it is too late. So far, the ministry has yet to record anyone with effects from the HPV vaccine. The vaccination rollout continued today at the Havelu Government Middle School and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Middle School in Havelu.
The competent authority has approved the new petroleum prices for the month of November to December, which will be effective tomorrow. Alice Tupo with that story.
People should use petroleum products such as diesel more wisely as it is uncertain when the prices will drop. The Tonga Competent Authority has approved the new petroleum prices for November to December, which will be effective tomorrow as diesel and kerosene prices will increase while petrol will decrease. The Secretary of Tonga Competent Authority, Sandra Di Fifita, says that petrol will decrease from 3 pa'anga and 56 seniti per litre to 3 pa'anga and 49 seniti per litre. Kerosene is 3 pa'anga and 13 seniti per litre and will increase to 3 pa'anga and 17 seniti, and diesel is 4 pa'anga and 11 seniti per litre and will increase to 4 pa'anga and 25 seniti tomorrow to Tongatapu. She also explained the reasons as to why petroleum prices are changing. Firstly, the average prices of crude oil and its products. Second is the freight cost of shipping here to Tonga. Remember that Tonga is a small country and our petroleum storage is not big enough for huge vessels to travel directly to, so instead they transit through Fiji, and from there small vessels will bring oil here to Tonga. Every month there is a shipment of petroleum, approximately 2 to 3 shipments from 2 shipping companies that Tonga is using. Lastly is the foreign exchange rate. When converting the prices of overseas currencies into Tongan pa'anga. So we don't have any authority to control the prices, but we will look into it. Meanwhile, it is unknown when the petroleum prices will decrease and slightly increase, but Fifita clarified that the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict is affecting the petroleum prices. Tonga receives over 60 million litres of petroleum every year, and last year Tonga imported 62 million litres. Reporting for Radio and Television Tonga News, I'm Alice Tupo.
A man is still recovering in hospital after being badly wounded. Information from police says the victim, 26-year-old from Matahau, was wounded on Sunday by a 19-year-old male also from Matahau. Police have arrested the 19-year-old male for grievous bodily harm. This follows a report they received on Sunday from Viola Hospital that a male patient was in critical condition with signs of head injuries. Police believes irresponsible intake of alcohol contributed to the attack. And meanwhile, the 19-year-old male is remanded in police custody while investigations continue. It is important to formulate solutions to address hazardous chemicals and waste management in the Pacific. That is the purpose of a 3-day program in Fiji conducted by the Global Environments Facility, the world's largest funder of pollution reduction. The purpose of the program is to launch the Islands Pacific project to address the said issue in the Pacific countries, including Tonga. The concern is because these chemicals are toxic and are harmful to the environment. If not stored carefully, can cause explosion to an area. The program included information on regional activities together with extensive training on shareholder engagement and agenda issues and facilitate open dialogue. Jeff Islands raises awareness and establishes programs around the world on how to safely and sustainably manage hazardous chemicals and waste in 33 small islands developing states. The Islands Pacific Ocean Project is one of the 3 major regional projects that fall under the Global Islands Project, along with the Caribbean, Indian, and Atlantic Ocean regions. The primary aim of Jeff Islands Pacific Project is to avert the buildup of persistent organic pollutants and mercury materials in the environment through appropriate management and disposal of existing harmful chemicals and wastes across Pacific seas. The 14 Pacific Island nations are collaborating to create innovative methods and strategies for the proper and safe disposal of hazardous chemicals and harmful waste, which can have a huge impact on health, the environment, and properties across the whole region. While the world currently looks at climate change issues through a microscope, this predominantly unaddressed issue remains equally vital to ongoing sustainable island life and ecosystems. And Jeff, along with the UN Environment Program, are partnering with the Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program, or SPREP, to carry out this program. Representing Tonga at the event is Mafile Omasi from the Ministry of MADEC. The theme of the program is Sustainable Management of Hazardous Chemicals and Waste in the Pacific Islands. The program ended today. And the Prime Minister's office has announced the public holiday dates for next year. The 1st of January, which falls on a Sunday, 2022, will be commemorated on Sunday and not on the following Monday. Details of the public holiday for next year with Alisi Tupo.
The HPV vaccine is to help protect young girls between the ages of 10 to 17 from cervical cancer, but many parents are against it. The Ministry of Health clarified the importance of the HPV vaccination rollout as it protects young girls from having cervical cancer later on in life, and they believe it does not affect their reproduction system. The nurse in charge of the vaccine division at Viola Hospital, Sister Afude, says they are worried for the girls' safety when they get older due to the parents not wanting them to get vaccinated from the virus. Many women in Tonga have lost their lives to cervical cancer in previous years, and Sister Afude says the reason why is because they weren't vaccinated at the ages of 10 to 17. She adds other countries have long used the HPV vaccine, but it was first introduced and used in Tonga this year as the number of women with cervical cancer has increased. According to the ministry's latest statistics, 6 to 7 women die every year from cervical cancer. As such, she urges parents to get their young girls between the ages of 10 to 17 vaccinated from cervical cancer now before it is too late. So far, the ministry has yet to record anyone with effects from the HPV vaccine. The vaccination rollout continued today at the Havelu Government Middle School and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Middle School in Havelu.
Sports news with Mark Ake. After this break, brought to you by the kind sponsorship of Pacific Timber and Hardware.
To chess. Chess Grandmaster Nigel Short played 16 people in a simultaneous chess exhibition last night at the Nuku'alofa Hotel as part of the International Chess Federation promoting the sport in Oceania. Short is touring the Pacific in his capacity as the Director of Chess Development of the International Chess Federation, or FIDE. Short said that the event was a good opportunity for players to refresh and for beginners to start, and that it's an inclusive game.
I think it's a great opportunity because chess is the ultimate mind sport. It is a game for young and old. It's a game for men and women. It doesn't matter, whether you're black, you're white. It's really a game, absolutely. We're rich or poor. it's a game for everyone. It's actually a pretty cheap game, which is one of its advantages. You don't need lots of fancy equipment, just some a cheap board and pieces, and you're away. So I think it's great. I'm absolutely certain there is talent here in this country. It is simply a question of finding that talent and nurturing it. So it's early days. The Federation, at the moment, it only numbers dozens of people, but there are more people who've just turned up this evening. So we see there are far more people who actually play the game and maybe have been unaware of the existence of other chess players.
Short beat 16 local chess players from different age groups, and he says that the game will only grow here on out.
I'll be quite honest, the standard was not too high, but that's okay. It doesn't concern me. They will improve, and the importance is that people get competition, they get regular practice, and that's really what this evening is about, encouraging people and to play on a regular basis. Any difficult subject requires a bit of application. If you want to be a concert pianist, you will not achieve that by playing for 1 hour on a Saturday afternoon. You will never play in the concert halls around the world. So if you want to, you get as much out as you put in. Honestly speaking, it's not too high. Some of the older players were more experienced, better. But what I would like to see is competition against other countries. You know, Tonga, Samoa. Isn't that what we all want to see? Like India, Pakistan in cricket or something.
Short says that FIDE has resources available for people keen on chess, such as experts on the game.
The Federation, at the moment, it only numbers dozens of people, but there are more people who've just turned up this evening. So we see there are far more people who actually play the game and maybe have been unaware of the existence of other chess players. Yeah, well, a couple of things. We visited the National Olympic Committee today. That's actually getting recognition from the NOC is an important part of the Federation being accepted internationally. That meeting went well. And we're also examining the possibilities for chess in education. And there have been numerous studies over the last 50 years. And there's a lot of practice, actually, of chess in schools, particularly at the primary school level. And this is a way of learning various skills.
Meanwhile, one of the participants in last night's exhibition was 13-year-old William Surov, who said he found the experience interesting and fun and shared what he learned.
I learned that you shouldn't exactly focus on the first move that you try to make. You should focus on multiple moves that you're making.
He also said that chess has helped him academically, as it has allowed him to look at things more logically, particularly mathematics. William competed alongside his brother John, who said that the exhibition has motivated him to get better. The famous grandmaster and chess promoter Nigel Short is on a mission to assist countries that need extra attention or where chess isn't popular. He will focus on several new federations to kickstart their development, including in the Oceania region. Meanwhile, as part of his visit in Tonga, Short met with officials from the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Sport, and the National Olympic Committee in order to develop chess in education and to further promote the sport to the general public. Short will continue his trip to Samoa and Fiji.
That was the sports, wrapping up this hour's English news package with radio and television Tonga. But before we part, here's a final look at tonight's top stories. His Majesty King Tongatapu VI held an audience with the ruler of Ras Al Khaimah. Tourism Ministry launches culture database system, and the man still recovering in hospital after being badly wounded. That's it for tonight. Thank you for your company. I'm Malia Gutenberg. Have a blessed evening.